Peace. Peace and assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. Another episode, another broadcast. Black Muslim in America. This is your host, Bilal Mujahid. Thank you for tuning in once again. Back outside with it. Things on my mind, so let's talk about it. I know most of y'all probably seen that new Kanye or Ye interview that he did, like his third interview on Drink Champs. And man, I was looking for that all night. Nori talking about it's dropping at 10. Oh no, it's dropping at 9. I'm like, okay, is this West Coast time? Okay, so I'm checking at 9 and 10. Oh, then he comes back, it's 11 p.m. y'all, sorry. And then he still ain't drop it. Then I find out it's on the Revolt TV app, like the early drop. It's on the Revolt TV app. So I download the app and it's 43 minutes. Now they said it's supposed to be more. That's supposed to come out later. We'll see, because it seemed like they didn't even want to put that out. They had to edit out a whole bunch. He must have been saying some things. But even in that 43 minutes, he was saying some things. And I want to point out that, what's obvious everybody's making a fuss about now. And it's that he definitely said some off-code things, that whole George Floyd thing. I see that what he's saying it comes to pass. What he's saying is the truth. He's saying the media will taint things and change things and make it seem what they not, just to paint him as this horrible person. And I don't think he's super horrible, but he's definitely got some tap shoes on. He's definitely hopping back and forth in between that, and I don't like that at all. But I wanted to say that George Floyd comment he made, the media is misconstruing it. They're trying to say that what Kanye meant is the fentanyl in George Floyd killed him and not the knee on his neck. As if to say, and they want us to imply ourselves that George Floyd took this willingly and was high on fentanyl, and that's what killed him. But that's not what Kanye was saying. If you listen to the interview, Kanye said they hit him with the fentanyl, meaning the police hit him with that. And then he goes on to say, if you check the video, his knee wasn't on his neck like that. And that was corny for him to say that anyway, because the fact that you're saying wasn't on his neck like that, then you're still admitting that his knee was still on his neck. So now we need you to define, Kanye, define to us, what does not on his neck like that mean? What does that mean? So how many PSIs? I don't know what the pressure metric is. How many PSIs was on his neck? Like, come on. Even the autopsy says he's died of asphyxiation. So I didn't like that comment at all. But he was saying some stuff, He was calling out the people with the little hats. He was calling them out. And, that's very dangerous. But he was saying, we don't have to be scared no more. I'm going to be that person, that leader that takes that. And I'm like, okay, I hear what you're saying. He was talking directly to the black community on many of his points. And I appreciated that as well. He even called out Diddy. He called out the higher ups in the music industry about, they're basically running the errands for the liberal media, for the Democrats. And that's what you see going on, because they took that little clip of him talking about George Floyd, and now you got celebrities still coming out and, oh, you a clown, Kanye. They're right, but they're doing that because they're trying to get a name. They're trying to get popping off of him. They're trying to please their liberal people. They're trying to please their connections by downing him. So it makes them look good in the left's eyes, in the Democrats' eyes. It makes them look good. Like, see, now I can get some old butter biscuits from Master because I put down one of my own kind. Is that type of thing. And, he mentioned that. And he also mentioned that, some of these rappers, they get locked up, and then one of the conditions of them getting out of jail is that they push the liberal agenda. They push the left's agenda. And that was exposing to me, because I always suspected of that. And if they can do that, then think what else they can do with all these other rappers getting killed as well. They could have somebody in jail and say, look, we're going to let you out, but we need you to do this favor for us. You see what I'm saying? Because with a lot of these rapper getting killed, you'll find out that the person who killed them, well, the FBI or the police have been watching him for a minute. He's been in and out of jail, all of these things. So yeah, if it could be done, giving them a contract saying, hey, you got to push this propaganda when you get out, then they could do the same thing, you know, with actually killing rappers. And that's probably part of the reason why they still, you know, holding certain rappers in jail, doing all these RICOs, things like that. But I would advise you to check out the interview for yourself, because these little clickbait articles, clickbait links that they post on Twitter and on social media, they're misconstruing what he was actually saying. So go and actually listen to the interview for yourself. It was a good interview. I hope they released the whole footage, a longer version of it, because it was very interesting. He was making some tough points. Even the point he made about how he can't be anti-Semitic because, you know, black Americans are the true Jewish people. But he shouldn't have said Jewish. He should have said from the tribe of Shem. He should have really broke it down, because, you know, that's a theory out there. That's a type of Hebrew Israelite theory, but it could possibly be true that black Americans, foundation of black Americans, they have come from the lineage of Shem. So he should have said that instead of saying, you know, Jewish. And people aren't going to catch that point anyway. They're still going to say he's anti-Semitic. They're still going to say that regardless. Because Whoopi Goldberg tried that stuff on her show, The View, tried to be critical of, you know, their community. And she thought she had a pass because she said, well, I'm Jewish too. And she didn't get a pass for that. So they're still going to attack him for that. But yeah, check out the interview. But what I wanted to talk about is basically, what work have you put in? You know, this is a phrase we constantly keep hearing a lot of in these Twitter spaces and on social media from all these other different so-called reparations groups that's popped up. Their thing is to say to us, you know, what work have you put in? And that's, you know, I can agree to that to a certain extent. You need to put, if you're really going to be about the reparations movement, if you're really going to be about black empowerment, you will get inspired to do more if you're serious about it. But also at the same time, as long as you're a black person on code and you keep the code and your mentality is black empowerment, then you're good. You are putting in the work, because the fact that you're being on code is putting in the work. You don't have to go out and do all these great things if you don't feel compelled to do that. God will guide those to have that feeling. God will inspire that feeling in certain people within the movement to go out and do more. And, you know, there's a saying that says works without faith is dead. That's from the Bible, I think so. And that's true. Even in the Quran, in chapter 25, verse 23, in that verse, it talks about, you know, it talks about how the disbelievers will come on the day of judgment and they'll have all these deeds, but Allah will make their deeds like floating dust particles. Their deeds would be null and void because they didn't have faith. They did all these great things, but they didn't have faith, so it really don't matter. So yes, works without faith is dead. So this is true. And the thing is, though, the hypocrites know this. And the hypocrites knowing this, they say, well, they're going to exaggerate their works more so to the people because they're hypocrites. They really don't believe, but they need you to believe that they believe. So they'll be in the masjid making, you know, 100 rak'ah, making their salah so perfect. And then, you know, when they say salams to the left and salams to the right, you'll be like, oh my God, they was praying so beautifully. And after they finish saying their salam, they say, oh, don't forget, I'm fasting too. So they're going to exaggerate and proclaim their good deeds because they need you to believe that they believe. And this is what you see a lot of these hypocrite movement groups popping up, these COINTELPRO type groups popping up within the movement. That's what they're doing. You know, with Secure the Tribe, it was, we on the ground, we doing the work. Ain't nobody giving us props for it. We doing the work. They wanted praise so bad. And then, you know, you see their marches and their rallies and nobody shows up. Even with these new groups that popped up, their rallies weren't popping. I seen two different videos. I seen a video and a picture of two different rallies and nobody showed up. But they're proclaiming all these work they're doing on the ground because they need you to believe that they're validated, that they're sincere. But many of these groups that's popping up are just agent provocateurs sent to, you know, throw you astray from the path. That's all they're doing. These the same people, they'll proclaim their works. Okay, you're proclaiming your works, but that does mean something. But you need to be sincere to the movement, because even, you know, what's the guy who set up Fred Hampton to get killed? He was doing the work. He helped start the free lunch for the young children, for the young black children, the free lunch program. He was participating in that. He was doing the work. But he still set up Fred Hampton to get killed because he was a hypocrite. He wasn't sincere. So really being sincere to black empowerment is what is important. Like I said at the beginning, if you're on code and that's how you live in your life, then you are putting in the work, because you need at least that much to do to be on point in this game. That's the least you got to do, is be on code. And that's why, you know, I wouldn't even try to debate, you know, what work I'm putting in. Don't worry about what work I'm putting in. I'm sincere. You know, the prophet said Allah loves good deeds. You know, Allah loves the small good deed that you do constantly. As long as you have faith, that's what Allah loves. When you're constantly doing those small good deeds, small over and over again, because that shows that you are truly sincere, and it will progress over time. And that's why I wouldn't even get into no debate in these rooms with these guys. And when they call you up and the first thing they say, so what work you put in? If I was like, look, I haven't put any groundwork in, but that's not my role. Everybody has different roles and different positions. My role is to spread the message. So I use my Twitter, I use my social media, my YouTube page to spread the message. Allah has called me to spread the message of Islam. Allah has made me a black man. So as a black man, I had to be down with black empowerment, because white supremacy is the greatest evil in the world. And Allah told me that we must go after injustices. What is the greatest injustice in the world? White supremacy. So if you're a Muslim, even if you're not black, if you're a Muslim, you should be promoting black people in America get reparations. You should be against white supremacy. You should be an agent against white supremacy if you're a true, sincere Muslim, because it's the greatest injustice in the world. How can you ignore that? How can you ignore that elephant in the room? You're over here making speeches and lectures about, you know, young ladies not wearing their hijab. And yes, that's correct. Do that. But then you're totally just got your back to the elephant in the room, which is white supremacy. But yeah, as I was saying, everybody has their role. Everybody's not going to be on the ground. Everybody is not going to be spreading the message either. Some people may just be sincere black Americans, foundational black Americans, or black immigrants who are on code, and they both will be on code, and that's all they do. If they meet somebody who they can talk to about it, then they'll spread their message, you know, little by little that way. But everybody has their role, and this is what Allah says in the Quran in chapter I think it's chapter 9, verse 122. Allah tells the believers, all of y'all don't need to go out and fight. Y'all don't need to all go out at once and fight. Some of y'all need to stay behind and get knowledge and, you know, go to lectures and hear sermons and hear khutbahs, so that when the fighters return, you can inform them of what's going on. You know, you got to get knowledge from your deen, and you got to get knowledge on what's going on in your city, your state, with your people. so that when those people who are on the ground, when they return, you can update them. You can update their lexicon. You can update their, okay, this is what's going on in my city. This is what's going on with my people here. So some people have to stay behind. Some people are just going to be the regular layman, and that's fine. So all that arguing about who's putting in the work, that's good. You're putting in the work. Continue to do so. You can use that to a degree to validate you if you're sincere. But to try to use that and say, well, you're not serious because you ain't doing what I'm doing. Maybe not. But because like I said, everybody has their role. That might not be their role. But, that's all I wanted to say, man. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, this is Black Muslim in America, Bilal Mujahid. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for tuning in. Peace and assalamu alaikum.